my name is Sensei-pong, and we've actually reached the point in the story to figure out how our relationship is with our parents. Either it's pretty decent, or we just are filled with teenage angst. What are we? What are we? My name is Charles, the Heartbreaker. I don't say anything, I never do. I just walk on by. What's to say? They don't really care about how your day was. You don't want to have to deal with telling them. You just want to get away. Pong, Mom calls. Your dad had to work late. Mom continues. So he's bringing home a pizza for dinner. He should be home in half an hour or so. Oh, and I hoped we could have some family time this weekend. Maybe one last game of mini golf before they all close up for the winter. What do you think? She asks with a hopeful smile. What do you think? It's a great chance to spend time with my parents. It's cheesy but fun. It's not my idea of fun, but it's what Mom and Dad want. I'll go along with it. Ugh, worst date ever. I believe my name is Charles, the Heartbreaker. I like to have cheesy fun. There isn't a whole lot to do in Kingsport, so you have to make do with what's around. That's why mini golf has been a tradition in your family. Spending an afternoon with fake windmills and fiberglass elephants might not be very sophisticated, but it's still fun. You got it, you reply with a grin. Can we do it on Sunday afternoon? I love mini golf. I'll have to double check with your dad when he gets home, Mom says, but that should work. She sighs, giving a wry look on the piles of bills on the desk. It'll be good to have something to look forward to. She sits down again and goes back to work. Well, that was a pretty happy interaction with your mom. Not all teenagers would talk so affectionately with their parents. What's your relationship with their parents usually like? Do you fight a lot? All the time! Or, not more than most people do. Or, hardly ever. We have a really good relationship. Well, I'm gonna play up the teen angst. All the time! Some of your friends have a great relationship with their parents. They hug and talk and share their feelings and have heartwarming moments. You can't remember the last time you and your parents had anything heartwarming happen. You just get on each other's nerves all the time. Everything you say sets them off. Everything they say is either embarrassing or irritating. That's why you're always over at Allison's. She's lucky her moms aren't hideously uncool as your parents. You finally make your escape from the kitchen and head up to your room. Oh, Mom calls as you start up the stairs. Don't forget about your scholarship competitions. You can't really forget. Mom and Dad have been reminding you about them every day since junior year started. They're probably more excited about the Kingsport Scholar and Kingsport Athlete Awards than you are. Which you suppose you can't blame them for, considering how worried they are about money. You climb the narrow stairs to your room and close the door. It's not a very big room, and every inch of the wall is covered with Red Sox pennants and Kingsport banners. But it's all yours. How do you spend your evening? Do I spend it doing homework, of course? I'm thinking about them scholarships. Hanging out online. I've got Instagram and Snapchat and Tumblr and Vine and Tags and all kinds of things to catch up on. Or thinking about what's going on with Jake. Or seeing how loud I can play my music before Mom and Dad starts banging on my door. Spying on people with my clairvoyance. I do it all the time. Or trying to extend my psychic powers. Sometimes I can read people's thoughts. Ah, la 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 la, la 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 la, I believe. The most responsible thing would be spying on people with my clairvoyance. I like to do that all the time. Be a creeper. What's the point of having a kind of power if you can't use it, right? What do you spy on? You can't see anyone too far away. You can definitely see your parents, and you can probably get your next door neighbors if you try hard. I'll spy on Mom and Dad, or I'll spy on Mrs. Harris, our neighbor to the right. She gets HBO, so sometimes I watch her TV. I'll spy on the Potts family, our neighbors to the left. They've got a new baby and a new dog. Hours of entertainment. Okay, so I didn't do this last time. This is going to be interesting. Let's watch that HBO, because it's literally like $30 more just to subscribe to it. So, free HBO is always cool. Mrs. Harris is about 80 years old, but she has surprisingly good taste in TV. You settle down to an evening of quality viewing. Are you going to do any of your homework? Yes, I'll do it all, but only when I'm finished having fun, or some of it. Or, nah. Well, it is HBO, and HBO takes precedence, so no, we're not going to do our homework. Who needs it? You got more important things to think about, like HBO and The Sopranos. If it's still on, which I don't think it is. I don't remember the last time I actually watched HBO. The first class you have with, I'm trying to think like a high schooler. The first class you have with Jake, and therefore your first chance to talk to him, is English, third period with Miss Rivera. Miss Rivera is young, funny, and smart. Even students who always say reading is boring sometimes get excited when they're in her class. When she talks about books, she somehow finds all this meaning you never saw in them. Your class has been working on Romeo and Juliet for the last few weeks, and Miss Rivera reads Shakespeare. It sounds really like people talking. It sounds like real people talking. She's one of the most popular teachers in school. Are you one of the many students who like her? She's okay, I guess. Or, I don't usually like school or teachers, but she's great. I really want to impress her. Or, I like all my classes, but yeah, there's something special about Miss Rivera. She's really inspiring. Meh, she's okay. Shakespeare, meh. You follow into room 223, along with the rest of your third period English class, and hang back for a second, trying to fiddle with the zipper on your backpack while you wait to see where Jake sits so you can sit near him. A minute later, Jake comes in. He looks different. He's freshly shaven. He's wearing a crisp, clean, white button-down shirt and new loafers. Was he dressed like that yesterday? Maybe, but you didn't notice. You trail him after him across the room, slip into your chair next to him, and watch. He doesn't talk to anyone on the way to his seat. He just sits down and starts taking out his books, arranges them neatly on the desk, and starts adding 3 pens lined up perfectly parallel to the edges of the books. You've never seen Jake look so focused or serious about school. Or, well, about anything. He is all done. Notebook open, pen in hand, by the time the bell rings and class starts. So let's talk about Mercutio today. Miss Rivera begins. Half the class instantly perks up. He's by far the most fun character in Romeo and Juliet. If you enjoy 10 minutes of monologue of him dying, you'd be excited too. Oh yeah. If you didn't have half your mind on watching Jake and half on thinking about the next part of your plan. You could try to talk to Jake during class, but why would you? He can't really run away from you then. But talking too much in class or even passing notes would draw attention, and Miss Rivera doesn't miss much. You could try to use your clairvoyance and look into Jake's backpack to get a level of detail, being able to read and things like that. You have to be really close to a place you're viewing. Now is your best chance to do that, since you're sitting right next to Jake. Using magic is less obvious than talking in class, but you kind of space out when you're using your ability, so you'd be in trouble if Miss Rivera called on you. Or you could focus on class during class and try to talk to Jake after. Which approach would you like to take? Well, let's look at our stats real fast. My obviousness is at 64%. My subtlety is at 36%. That's pretty bad. My altruism has dropped down to 50-50. And my rebelliousness is at 80%. So how are we going to do this? But our magic's at 73%, so that's pretty cool. We'll either talk to Jake during class, it's the only way I can be certain to get his attention, or I'll use my clairvoyance. I bet there are some interesting things in Jake's backpack. Or I won't do anything during class. I'll try to talk to Jake after. And I am going to choose to wait until next time, here on Psy High with Sensei-pong. Like and subscribe.